for our First Nations people here in Australia, but also thinking of First Nations people globally and everyone living with dementia. We acknowledge the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people of the lands we're meeting on today. And for me, this is the land of the Darug people, the traditional custodians of the land and the waterways upon which we live and work. We acknowledge and pay our respects to all traditional owners and elders, past and present. We extend that respect to any Aboriginal people and Torres Strait Islander people joining us today. And we acknowledge the sovereignty that has never been ceded. It always will and always will be Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders' land and waterways. So who is Open the Doors for anyone that's not been with us before? Open the Doors is for all of us. It's about how we can express how we feel, talk about the changes needed for dementia and aged care, but it's also a place for you to be able to showcase everyone can showcase all their amazing work that's happened and about to happen. So whether that's where we're sharing that when we meet together at one of these meetings or at our panel, and also on the beautiful website that's then plenty of opportunity to upload your blogs, sharing what you're doing as well. We'll also now enable us to no longer work in silos, no longer having to wait for conferences to be able to share what we're doing. We can do this together and freely. It's about connecting, and all of us, and it doesn't matter where you're sitting, we're all global leaders and we're all thinkers within our communities in regards to bettering the life for people living with dementia, their carers, families. We want innovators, designers of new models of care, all coming together. So if you know anyone that hasn't joined us yet, please spread the word. And really, it's all about enabling tangible changes. Anything and everything is possible. As Nicole just shared, we're now over 600 members in just over half a year for a brand new organisation, which she rightly shared is running on heart. So I think it's a collect of hearts, actually. So housekeeping. So can we ensure we keep all our cameras on? It's nice to see everyone's faces. Just have mute on as well. There's plenty of opportunity to contribute in a couple of ways. One is the chat, so please feel free to put your questions. Josephine is going to be looking after that today and keeping us on time. And Nicole will facilitate Q&A, which will be a bit through the presentation today and also afterwards when Monica and Michelle have after our chat with them. So before we start, we do need to do our group photo. So if everyone can turn your cameras on, and I will get to the right setting. Full screen layout. How do I get everyone? Everyone got their hair right? Oh, I did fail to mention, if you have got a hat close by, please grab it after this. We'll give everyone 2 minutes to go grab a hat for a little bit later on in the session. Okay, now, where's Aaron when you need him? So I can get everyone in the picture. Change layout. Oh, here we go, tiled. That's the one I want. I've got it. Okay, now, where are we? I'm just going to print screen. I'll do a countdown from 3 once I work out my buttons on my new laptop. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Now, let me just check I've got that right. Nope. For some reason, I know. My print screen. Okay, I think, okay, 3, 2, 1, last time. Good way to start the day with lots of smiles. Let's make sure that worked. Okay. I've worked out what was wrong. Hang on. Can we try one more time?
I'm no more smiling for sure. We're so happy.
Sorry, and that's the end of the meeting. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Do we look? That's what's important.
Ready?
Yes, that worked. Thank goodness. Got it. Okay. I'm going to hand over to you, Maury, but we'll just give everyone 2 minutes to quickly go grab a hat for part a little bit later in the presentation.
More pictures.
More pictures. Shall we give people a bit of time, or shall we begin? Oh.
Okay, I reckon let's kick off and people can sort of sneak away maybe.
Hello, everybody, and thank you to if anybody in the OTD community would like to train us in tech in how to take screenshots, we'd be very interested to hear from you. It is so delightful to share with our community these two amazing gerontologists who I've admired for many, many moons. And so first of all, we're going to say a big hello to Monica Eastway. So let me tell you a little bit about Monica in case you don't know her. And I do suggest that you jump on LinkedIn and have a look at the work they've been doing. So Monica Eastway's mission is to empower individuals and communities to harness the full health potential of our surroundings. She is an eco-gerontologist dedicated to enhancing the quality of life for people of all ages, current and future generations. Now, Monica works with individuals and health professionals, carers, committees, municipalities, to co-create and utilise supportive and accessible, multifunctional, nature-connected outdoor spaces. So with a focus on nature-inspired education, Monica is dedicated to providing fun, yes, fun, and engaging educational opportunities that benefit both people and our home that we call our planet. Please give a very big welcome to Monica Eastway.
Oh, yay. Thank you so much. Oh, I'm so honored to be here, and just what an amazing place to be as we're opening the doors globally. Literally, I'm sitting outside right now, my feet touching the ground in Big Sur, California. And it's been raining. We got the first rain today of our fall season, which is really wonderful because California is on fire south of us. And I just so appreciate feeling the raindrops, inhaling the fresh air, the petrichor, you know, when the raindrops hit the dry soil, called the petrichor, that when we inhale that, it boosts our immune systems, helps us connect deeper with each other and the natural environment. And I'm so happy that we're all here together, because one of my greatest fears is to be in a community or under the care of others where I am no longer able to access home. Right. And so with eco-gerontology, it is an emerging branch of gerontology. We do have environmental gerontology, which I love. Yet what tends to happen is it still tends to be a little more human-centered instead of nature-centered. And with eco-gerontology, we're coming from a perspective of humans. We are nature. You know, nature, this is our home. As Gary Schneider says, nature is not a place to visit, it is home. And you know, through the past few hundred years, maybe a little farther, humans have become more and more disconnected from the natural environment, from our home. And this has led to a catastrophic loss of biodiversity and unwellness of the very ecosystems that sustain us. And also impacts how we design care, how we design our care communities, right? With this human-centered approach, literally locking people indoors, literally not engaging with the natural world in the sense of, wow, this is who we are when we're nature connected, and we're connected to this natural environment that we are a part of. Interdependence, reciprocity, giving and receiving. We would never fathom of even building a care community that doesn't encompass nature in every part of our lives. And so I want to reiterate that, you know, eco-gerontology, it is an emerging field. We're creating it now. It's a green field, right? With the focus really helping to get us back to nature, you know, back to the garden for everybody, for all ages, people living with dementia. And so in the future's looking bright, we won't even build communities where we lock people inside, because that's inhumane. It's inhumane because it's not natural. And I did want to share that, you know, I've been in this for, I guess, almost 20 years now ago was my first experience with how we treat people living with dementia and disability, mobility impairments. With my great grandmother was admitted into a skilled nursing. And I was thinking today, actually, about one of the innovative approaches at that time was they had these birds literally locked in glass, and a glassed in aviary of these little tiny songbirds locked inside glass. Like, oh, research shows that birds, engaging with birds is so, boosts moods and all these things. And I remember looking at that and really crying, like feeling like that was now my beloved, my grandmother now is living in this glassed prison of artificial experiences and no longer could access her gardens and nature and every part of home, the home that we're born into from the moment we born and then we die out of. And it was, that's why I have a personal mission with this. And then also so many loved ones and friends, as many of you probably have experienced too, our neighbors or loved ones, when we experience them literally being locked in. It's time to change that. And I'm so happy to be here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. In a nutshell, eco-gerontology.
And
did I lose you?
how long have you been an eco-gerontologist, Monica? Oh. Has she
I think she just dropped out, but we'll just.
I'm back.
She's back. We thought we lost you, Monica. How long have you been an eco-gerontologist? Like, when did this begin?
This began, well, probably since birth, but educationally, I returned to school in early 2020 to innovate a new model of living and care after experiencing our current care model and things. And it was during that time that I discovered all the research that we have that wasn't part of my curriculum on green care approaches. And I was like, wow, this is like amazing. Okay, why isn't this an emphasis as much as it should be? And so it kind of grew from there. And then upon graduating, I realized, it's time to really hone in on the natural environment, the health of the natural environment, and the human to human, our relationship with the natural environment as a specialty of aging, considering we are all aging in a climate changing world with a catastrophic loss of biodiversity. So it's very green.
Yeah.
Monica, can you share with us how you're currently working as an eco-gerontologist to support people in California or wherever you travel to? Give us an example of some of the work that you're currently doing.
Well, the work that I'm focused on right now is education. I have the Care Outdoors program that has a lot of the amazing research and experiences, because my focus now really is, in order to generate a new way of being in our world, a nature-connected way of being in the world, that's where we come back to. That isn't about them. This really is about us, all of us. Kids today are very nature-deprived. Families are very nature-deprived. Carers are very nature-deprived. So my focus right now to continue to grow the movement is through continuing education in the Care Outdoors program and through experiential learning. And it really does begin with really simple yet profound awareness. Like, I'm outside now and just noticing the breeze and noticing nature. Hopefully when everybody leaves today, we inspire you to, you've been online for a little bit, go outside wherever you are. And right when you get outdoors, you're in this wider world around us, which is one of the benefits, right? And just come aware of your breath and notice and really start to become more intentional of growing that relationship. And we do have evidence-based ways to do that, the pathways of nature connectedness, all walking. And, so it's education that really feels good, but also helps us grow that relationship. And that infiltrates into our way of being with care. Right. And so that is really my focus right now, is through continuing education and supporting, loved ones and friends that are, currently living with dementia and supporting their carers in that way.
Thank you for sharing that with us. I know there's a lot of research at the moment for walking groups, a lot of OTs walking outside in nature with people with dementia to support reminiscence and reduce falls and increase mood. And there's lots of studies coming out. Has anyone got any questions for Monica before we move on to Michelle while we're chatting, or we can take some more questions at the end as well. I really want to go outside today. I think I'll cancel my work actually. But we do a lot of outside at Community Home Australia. It's so important. Monique was telling me a story about her own father. I won't forget it because it's really burnt into my brain that her dad hadn't touched the ground for 3 years. His feet hadn't touched grass in his journey into residential aged care respite and the industrialization of our elders and institutionalization. So that to me has burnt in, not touching grass with your feet for 3 years. We don't think about it so simply until somebody just says it so eloquently. And I think that's what you're all about, the two of you as well. Dolph, do you have a question?
Yep, if I may, well, some of you know where I work mostly. That's on the care farms. There we have people in dementia. And we just happened to have a student for a new study on the care farm, making the relation of studying about the relation between people in dementia and nature. She does a nature education. She's not from a care background, but I would like to know from you, Monica, what kind of relation you see between the need for people to do something meaningful and nature? Because that's where we are looking at the moment as well. Just started today, so I haven't got much background
Today.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you're with the care farming, which is wonderful. And that's one of the main benefits of care outdoors. And whether it's care farming or gardening or even all walking and noticing nature is, we go back to be valued as a human need that doesn't go away with a dementia diagnosis, things like this. So when we're outside in nature and growing that connection with the natural world, caring for soil, caring for plants and animals, there's an energy here, right? We go back to the fake nature indoors, or bringing, literally getting outside. This is the life force. And when we're connected to the life force, that connects us to our purpose and our meaning in life. I don't want to get too existential, but a lot of the qualitative research and a lot of the experiences people living with dementia and their carers, share is one of the number one things that keeps coming up is getting out and being in the fresh air, that multi-sensory experience, that connection to the wider world, which connects us to our purpose and some meaning in our lives, which doesn't really happen if we're inside all the time and we're playing with dolls or kinds of plastic toys and things like this, like literally connecting with the life force and making a contribution that has an energy to it, right? So I have a job to do. I've got to go care with the chickens, or I'm going to maintain this bird bath over here. I experienced that. We experience it now in our lives. You've got a dog, Nicole, I saw in your room there, that helps give your life value and meaning, that you have purpose beyond just, activities and things like this that are.
Did we lose you?
I think nature is taking.
Nature did its thing, right? Nature did its
Too
thing.
deep into nature and no more Wi-Fi. Yeah.
Oh, you're back.
I'm back. I don't know how much of that you heard. Sorry.
That's all right.
No, but it is clear. But is it okay if I'm somewhat further in our research with a student that I'll have some contact with you about it?
Oh, I would love that. Please. Let's work together. This is an emerging field. I'm so excited. Hey,
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
And this isn't about them. This is about us. I think about Monica with dementia. Gosh darn tootin', there better be a green care farm that I'm at every day.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you two are talking. I knew that would happen, and I'm glad. Monica, we will have some time for more questions later, I think, to Nicole. Shall we move to Michelle?
Yes.
And, okay. So I'm also been following both of Monica and Michelle. So introducing Michelle, for those that don't know her, Dr. Michelle Olson is committed to transforming perceptions and practices in dementia care, believing that creative expression and connection to nature are fundamental human rights. Michelle's work reflects a deep dedication to improving the quality of life for individuals with dementia and supporting their caregivers. So disheartened by the segregation faced by people living with dementia, Michelle recognised this as a social and environmental justice issue. Here. In response, she founded Evergreen Minds Inc., which you can find very readily on the net, dedicated to destigmatising dementia through nature and the expressive arts, aiming to foster intergenerational connections and engaging people of all cognitive abilities. Please make very welcome Michelle Olson. And thank you. Oh, are you there, Michelle?
You're just a little bit muted.
Hi, Michelle. I think you need to take yourself off mute. You've been very nice.
That's weird. Okay, thank you, Mari. We have all kinds of little reminders to slow down. But anyway, I'm happy to see y'all and just be a part of this group. And I just want to say the fact that you have over 600 people joining in such a short amount of time speaks to this revolution that people are waking up, right? They're like, this is not normal. This is not humane. And it is not easy, right? We know this isn't a simple fix, but we're in this together. And interestingly, I'm in beautiful Grand Rapids, Michigan at the Center for Innovation conference right now. If any of y'all aren't familiar, please get familiar. It's basically the merging of the Greenhouse Project and the Pioneer Network. And this conference is all about that. And I just left a session with all of our hero, I think I could say that safely, Dr. Al Power and Jennifer Carson led a full day workshop today on opening the doors. And so, there's a lot of pushback, right? Like when people hear, I see the post on LinkedIn, right? That we're all saying, let's open the doors, but it's not safe, right? But it can be done, to Monica's point. Like we're all in this. And the other thing before I kind of get into what I do is what they're really talking about in this session today was we can't make assumptions, right? We've heard that kind of saying, you've met one person with dementia, but then what Dr. Power was reminding us is that saying that, but then doing the exact same thing for everybody, it makes no sense, right? It's counterintuitive. So we've got to just not assume that everybody wants to be outside, right? Like I do. I was raised that way, and garden and biking, and I had planned to be outside, but I'm in a hotel room, but have a nice window, and that's okay. But some people don't like to be out. They don't feel safe. They don't feel comfortable. So I do want to acknowledge that. I actually I worked with a woman this summer who said she doesn't touch grass. She's like, I can't do it. I just can't do it, even with shoes on. So you just don't know. But that's why we get to know people, right, as unique individuals, and how can we help them? So kind of getting back to me, I started this. I'm an art therapist, and I have been for over 25 years, and specifically working with people who are living with dementia, because I realized that, again, we're implementing ways for people to express themselves in that kind of typical cognitive mindset. It's like, well, they're either appropriate for psychotherapy or they're not appropriate for psychotherapy. But it's like, but people still have emotions, right? Their dementia progresses, but their emotions are intact. So people know anger and joy and boredom and, sadness, but there's no very often, not no, I don't want to say no, because it's just not typical, right, to have an expressive arts therapist in place. So I've done that. And even before I knew what ecotherapy was or nature therapy, I was doing it, right? And so I was connecting people with dementia with the natural world. And because, these are a lot of these are high-rise buildings, I was doing my best to bring them to the window or bring objects in and, getting people talking. And it's amazing and sometimes profound what comes out when we just give space, right? Just doesn't have to be pass the ball, pass the bingo, let's fold baby clothes. It's like, just pause, just notice. Like Monica said, just notice the birds. And for the record, it does take practice, because I woke up this morning, I never shut my alarm off, ever. but I did today because I was so tired. I got up to make it here. I got up at like 3 a.m. and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm running late. I whipped open these curtains and I started my heart, the anxiety that we all get sometimes. And I was like, these 3 birds just like did this dance in front of, in the distance and came close to me. And I was like, thank you. Just reminded me that even if you're in a city, even if you're in a parking lot, even if you're in a staff meeting that is going to make your head explode, like just look out the window, just take that moment. Have your staff meeting outside. I love that Nicole said that they go out a lot. Monica and I talk about that. What a difference if you have your huddles outdoors, right? That extra boost, that extra benefit. So I really, then after I've been an art therapist, I really wanted to study gerontology because I wanted to learn as much as I could about aging. And I thought maybe it would give me more cred because now I can do research and transform long-term care, right? Like that's my idea. I was going to make things better. And, it's disheartening when you're a part of it, right? Because I was doing that stuff too. I'm like, here's the baby socks and, let's, when somebody asks to go out and like, why, I want to go home. And I'm saying, oh, let's have a cookie, like that's not okay. And that's what we're doing. And so how about we get to know them and we go take a walk? So that's what really led me to want to learn more and continue my education. And it's also why I founded Evergreen Minds. So in 2020, right at the pandemic, I was like, had a few extra hours on my hands. So I'm like, let's start a not-profit. And so Evergreen Minds was born out of that, that frustration that I saw, that I was a part of and that I witnessed, and that I wanted to desegregate people. I wanted to connect people in their community. I wanted them to go out and get outside and feel raindrops and, smell the damp leaves and feel the summer sun. Like, why aren't we doing that? And I know why, right? If you can connect with me later, I'll send you to a presentation we did on that. There's a lot of reasons why, but it's all about us. So because we can't get people out, we punish them because it's them and us instead of we, right? So Evergreen Minds was born of that mindset and that passion. And it is a beautiful organization that really focuses on connecting people of all ages through nature, through expressive arts. And so I work with college students at Vassar College. And we have a really lovely, now much larger garden space. So it's for everybody, right? If you have neurodiverse, great. If you don't, great, right? If you need a walker or you have a wheelchair, okay, come on in, right? Like that, we can do this. And I was a little bit saddened because all the thought and the excitement about it, so far, I haven't been able to get actual nursing home, right? Long-term care residents into the garden. So what we've done each year, we just finished our 3rd year, is we go there to them and we have them start all of the seeds, all of the plants, and then we ask them, what should we do with this produce and these flowers and these herbs? And they say they wanted to cook with some, which I don't blame them, right? A lot of good cooks there. So we bring it back and give it to people who are hungry. Because how many times does a food bank have fresh zucchini from the garden and fresh tomatoes? So that's what we did. So we made 6 deliveries to the long-term care home and to the food bank. And it's all because those people, that the students, the younger students, and the residents work together to create this beautiful place. And it's a sit spot of sorts. It's not just a garden. There's places to sit and just be, right? If you don't want to garden or you don't like gardening, who cares? Just come and be, right? Just be still because it's a lovely place to be still. So that's kind of what I do. And so at any point I fiercely advocate for opening doors. I get a lot of pushback on it, and I would like to get the conversation going a little bit here of, what maybe people are doing that, because it really has to come as a whole organization, right, Monica? It's not, it can't just be the activity person, right? The therapeutic recreation person saying, okay, we're going to get out. No, this is a culture. This is how the culture is. We wouldn't live inside, right? So which kind of leads us to our next segue, I think, with Monica. We're short on time, Monica, so we have to like zip
Uh-oh.
that. We gotta.
There's so much to cover, you guys. Michelle and I met a few times. There's so much. We want to be in our sit spot, right? All of us. We can go for 3 minutes with the video. We could go to a sit spot at the beach and just be.
Yeah, because
That would be a nice idea. So now, do you want to do a 3-minute sit spot and we can all just make ourselves zen for the day or zen for our evening, or if you've got it queued up and ready to go, and then maybe we can share a little bit about what everyone's doing to get people involved in the outdoors. Just need to press play.
Okay, welcome to our morning meditation. Nestle yourself into a comfortable position, relaxing your body and relaxing your mind. Gaze into the water. As the fresh water flows into the sea, let's take a deep breath in through our nose and exhale. Take a couple more breaths. Deep breath, deep belly breath. Exhale. One more deep breath in. Exhale. Become aware of your breath, aware of the sounds, healing your body and healing your mind. Bringing peace into your heart.
Well, there was a little glitching, but I still feel very relaxed. I saw the beautiful ocean and I remembered to breathe twice at least. So that's a great start to the day.
So I'm going to tap onto that video. So everybody, I'm glad you got a couple breaths. Now that you've taken a deep breath and you've been inspired a little bit by the natural sounds and sights, I want everybody to think for a minute. Don't type anything yet in the chat, but just reflect on a place that feels like home to you, right? Monica's by the beach. Maybe it's the orchard or a forest. It might be a garden, your backyard. Just think of a place a park maybe, that calls you. And now you've got that place in your mind. You go ahead, you go ahead and just type it in, one word if you want, type it in the chat. Oh, waterfalls. Oh, that is such a healthy place. The negative ions that come off of waterfalls are extremely good for your health, Josephine. The beach, bush, the beach, the rainforest. Oh my goodness. I can't imagine that. Floating in warm water. Oh my goodness. Okay. So I can't read them all, and these are already making me all googly. So what I want you to do, we're going to do a little expressive arts inspired thing here. I know we're running short on time. With your body and your hands, put your cameras on. Y'all, listen, we're family. Just don't worry about it. With your hands and your bodies, kind of think of that place and how that makes you feel. And now embody that place and that feeling with your hand, your face, your body. Oh. Oh. Thank you. So now I'm telling you, you can't go there. You can't go to the beach or the waterfall. Monica, get up off that beach. It's too cold. Come on.
Oh no! No, it's really hot. Oh no!
Raining. You're gonna melt. Okay. So now how does that feel? Show us with your hand and your face and your body. If somebody says you're not going there anymore, you have to stay inside. Right. I think we just had behaviors, y'all. Right? Am I right? We just had behaviors. So I think I'm going to just thank you, everybody, for participating. I love that you're good sports and you did that. Al Power today reminded us of a quote from Emmy Kyoto. Emmy Kyoto is another one. She's amazing. She says, home is a place people come back to. And if you can never leave, it will never feel like home. Like, isn't that profound? Like, yeah. Open the doors if you want people to feel at home. So.
That was so great, Michelle. I just love how in the faces that we made, right? And real quick, I just pulled this up because we talk a lot about prisoners, right? And prisoners, and here in the States, prisoners at maximum security facilities have at least often 2 hours a day outdoor time. And one prisoner said, I go outside to take my problems and frustrations just to leave them out there. And when asked about how they would feel, these are high security prisoners, about having their yard time reduced to 1 hour a day, inmates responded that it would build more anger and resentment. And research shows that crime rates go up, rehabilitation, all these things. And one inmate said it'd be torture. Right? Yet, like Michelle pointed out, so many of our friends and family and loved ones, they don't get outside even a half hour a day.
Sometimes ever.
Or ever.
Right?
Or, yeah.
Yeah. And it's actually illegal, which is really interesting. And we'll wait for the book to come out between Dr. Power and Dr. Carson. But yeah, here in the States, it's actually illegal, right, to lock people up against their will unless they have a court-appointed guardian. And I think it's really interesting if we think about opening the doors, that whole balancing risk. It's like, what is the real issue underneath, right? Like, we use distraction and medications, redirection. But what if we just let people live like they always have lived, right? Like, which is worse, what we're doing.
I'll tell you some positive news. I've had my doors open for 4 years across 5 services and a community centre. I've never lost anyone. I've had someone go for a walk and I found them at a coffee shop down the road because I've embedded them into the whole community, and people go, I think that's one of the people that goes to that day program. In 4 years, I have never locked a door until I'm allowed to lock the door when the sun goes down, because that's the legal requirement of the NDIS, which makes sense. We lock our homes at night. But it's totally possible and totally doable, but it takes a whole shift in our attitudes and our cultures and the way we deliver our services. So it is doable. And I open doors in nursing homes, and most people just have a little look outside the corridor and a quick walk and they go straight back. An open door is not what people think it is. It's not hard work. And it's a human right to get lost, is one of my sayings. It's a human right. I get lost all the time. So it's possible, it's doable, and I love the connection to nature to remind us that not only should we open the doors, but we should be opening the doors to the garden, to the balcony, to the beach, to the ocean, to the bushlands as well. So baby steps, but such beautiful messages from both of you. And who, has anyone, before we wrap up and go to Rhiannon, has anybody had success in opening any doors or taking people outdoors that they'd like to share with us today while we're on the topic? Even a small win is a win. It doesn't have to be huge.
Nicole, just also Julianne Donnellan, I hope I've pronounced that correctly, has got her hand up as well.
Oh, great. Thank you. Yes, Julianne. Nope. No question from Julianne. But Maury was going to say something and ask a question. Look at that. He's laughing.
He's laughing.
Does anyone want to share an experience of nature or door opening before we do a wrap up?
I have something to share.
Yes, please.
Maury, were you about to go?
No. Who was that? Who said that?
It's me, Josephine.
Oh, go. You say something.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Michelle and Monica. As you were chatting, Monica, what came to mind for me, just with the positive psychology background and an emphasis on emotional experiences, was a study that was done in 2020 by Virginia Strum. She's at the University of California. Okay, so she did, just for everyone's information, she did these all walks with seniors for 8 weeks. So what they had to do is go for a nature walk for 15 minutes once a day for 8 weeks. And it was amazing. I'm sure there were lots of different findings from it, but what happened was they experienced more connectedness at the end of it. And one of the things they had to do in reporting how they felt and what they were experiencing was they had to take a selfie picture. And what they found was, as the weeks progressed, the pictures of themselves in the selfie square became smaller. In other words, they saw less of themselves and more of their surroundings, and they were more socially connected. So I thought that just brought to mind that study, and I just really wanted to share that with everyone. I'm putting it in the chat. You can check it out. But I mean, it's just a combination of the emotions, the nature, and getting back to the roots of just connecting with another human being, right? And we can't do that when we're so focused on ourselves, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Josephine, I'm so glad you brought that up. In the Care Outdoors approach, I work a lot with law in that study, and have people, part of the experiential learning is at least two 15-minute all walks a week. And all y'all look at the science of law. It's nothing short of awesome. And it's amazing. The whole world needs more. And I love the bit about the smiles. At the end of the study, they had measurably more smiles, and they got smaller and smaller, got bigger, and they're like, wow, this is really great.
Good. Maury, you had your hand up.
I do have a question now. I just wanted to throw to either Michelle or Monica. I was talking earlier with Ken. We were talking about circadian rhythms and how, people live under unnatural light all day and sometimes into the evening, and then they wake up in the morning and they're in that unnatural light. And I'm thinking of a couple of places that I know where people don't get time outside. What sort of research or work is being done around, or do you know of any research or work that's been done around using different lighting states as they do in, say, Qantas, where they have different lighting states to help adjust your circadian rhythms to your destination. Now, I'm just wondering if anyone's doing any work on circadian rhythms and lighting that you know of in the aged care space.
Yeah, Monica, you jump in if you want to, but I know that there are designers, right, like gerontological, environmental gerontologists and designers that are utilizing the lights that dim at certain times of the day for that reason, right? So when our circadian rhythms are off, you're going to wake and sleep at the wrong time. And so that whole idea is to kind of fix that through the lighting. But what we might want to consider too, besides dimming the lights, raising the lights, is let's actually go into the light, right? Which is like, you've seen those models that get a lot of praise with the the fake sun and the fake clouds. It's like, well, here's an idea, and it's a lot cheaper. We can just go out and see the real ones and get the health benefits as well, right? The vitamins and the, all of the good stuff. So the oxytocin, everything. So, but yeah, I don't know about research specifically made with dementia, and that would be interesting to look up. But I know that in senior living space, there's a whole bunch of stuff being done about lighting and sleep patterns.
Because I know that that's a real concern, like when we mess with people's circadian rhythms and they no longer have control over bringing themselves to their own regulation around circadian rhythms. We've got some real issues, and I wondered whether, I know that the natural light will do it for us, and we stick people in. Not only do we lock the doors, we put on the lights, and they're all fake,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and none of us would do that, right?
And then we paint a waterfall garden on the dementia wall, the unit, and think that's lovely. Lovely picture of a garden. That was best practice. I won't say by who, by a very well-to-do dementia designer in Australia. Big old waterfall, parrots and jaguars. I haven't seen a jaguar in my experience in Australia lately, or a toucan. And I thought, what is this? How much did you pay for that? And could we have used that money for culture change instead? It was bizarre. And I thought, if I woke up every day to panthers, tigers and jaguars on my wall while locked in a locked unit that does not support my memory, I would be freaking out, to be honest, because it's not going to add to my cognitive awareness. So we do these things that we think are so groundbreaking, and they're so bizarre. They are so bizarre, and it's so nice to open the lid on this. And trickery and fakery is so 1990s. So let's move on from this thing that we're doing.
So Nicole, Alwyn's got his hand up. Do we have time for his question or comment before we go to closing?
Yes, we do. Yes. We heading up?
I'll try and be quick, but I'm just curious. Thank you so much, Michelle, Monica, everyone. Always say the same thing. It's reinvigorating me. It's like having sunshine on, just being with all of you people. So thank you. But I was just going to ask about experiences with people with autism, ADHD, just because I am my son, etc. And I just wonder how much we actually don't take that into account with a lot of people with the sensory side of things. So I'm just curious your thoughts on that, because it's long way behind, I feel, in Australia, in aged care particularly. Either of you.
Oh, thank you, Alwyn. It's so interesting because I have ADHD, and so I actually did a little thing on LinkedIn about it. And you're absolutely right, because we don't think about neurodivergence. And it's like, I have such a hard time in loud spaces and places that are like so much is happening, and but I'm expected to sit still and do, we don't think about that. But I think there needs to be some work done around that, with neurodegeneration. And now we're talking about people who have already, like a neurodivergent brain. Like how are we caring for people? And I think the answer is to make it welcome, make it good for everybody as much as you possibly can, right? Like Maury said, or who was it that just said about the bright lights? Maury, yeah, like with the lights in the Frank Sinatra playing. I mean, no, make it a little bit more welcoming.
Some of the shopping centres have done it, like have times where it's just less lighting and things like that. But I just noticed it so acutely. There's how much noise there is, how much light there is, and I'm not actually that sensory challenged by that, but I know a lot of people who are. So it's just something where you know, again, behaviours, you know, sort of coming up, sort of going, well, actually, you know, there's a reason for that. Yeah. I love all the hats; they're fantastic. I'll go.
Yeah.
All right. Nicole, do you want to send us away? Is it you that's doing this?
I think it's Rhiannon today. Yeah, it's Rhiannon doing a wrap up, but
What about the hats?
I don't know
Yeah,
what
I mean, the
happened.
hat.
I want to
we got to
Who's doing the hat thing?
What are we doing with the hats?
I'm wearing hats, but I love it.
Yay. Keep laughing, turkeys.
So Monica's on a water goofy.
In the office. Laugh outdoors is one of my favorite care outdoors approaches too. You know, keep it simple, smarty. Just get together and laughing for no reason at all, right? Feel that awe, feel that connectedness to each other, to nature. The birds, you know, we got to keep our laughter going, right? So we thought it'd be fun to end with a little laugh, a little ho ho ha ha ha, and maybe we'll share. Let's give ourselves a round of applause.
Yeah.
Come on. A tap on the chest. Give ourselves a tap. Here we go. Nice tap. Give ourselves a pat on the back. Okay, here we go. Now give ourselves a good hearty laugh.
So good. So good. Thank you. That's amazing. Have a wonderful day, everybody, or night, or
Thank you.
Okay, bye everyone.
Bye. Bye.